G'day and welcome back to another Dbz Dokkan battle video. In this video we are going to be taking a look at the strength evil stained androids, Android 17 and Hell Fighter 17, and we're going to take a look at just how good they are in Dokkan battle in the red zone. And specifically speaking, we're taking a look at the Metal Core Cooler Red Zone, and there's a couple reasons why. So firstly, they have natural advantage against the second phase of the Metal Core Cooler Red Zone, with him being a physical type unit, which is pretty good. And of course, as well, the event itself has a 3-turn timer limit. So I'm interested to see if their transformation condition will be a hindrance to us, as it can only be available from the 5th turn. So I'm wondering if that's going to be a huge problem and how they're going to do without being able to really build up. See, the thing is we have a Rainbow Super 17. So if you saw my review and my look at the 55% Super 17, 55% Super 17 is really good, but the one thing that 17 lacks is that his defense starts off pretty low. So even with his high levels of damage reduction, his defense can start off pretty low, especially at 55%, which leads to him taking quite a significant chunk of damage when he gets kind of supered or attacked immediately after transforming. Now that's going to definitely happen in this event. Obviously he'll have type advantage, which is good, but I really just want to see how building up will, take him out. It's also important to note that the intercooler phase of this fight is not strictly easy either. Cooler does some pretty decent damage whilst also lowering defense, and it's a pretty, tough opening salvo. So it's going to be interesting to see if the strength 17s can do a decent job getting us even to that point. Now team wise, the team definitely could use a little bit more work. I think with 17 being a target Goku lead, it is better to have two 17s rather than to be running Android 13 or a pseudo Androids lead under the other side. So yeah, I do think that's something specifically that I find to be a lot better. But I think overall the team is decent enough. But yeah, I think it's really solid. And I think overall he becomes a very good defensive unit after a couple hits. Now the important thing about being Rainbow comparative to being 55% is that he has that extra dupe, and those extra dupes give him more stats, quite substantially more stats, especially in the defensive department. He gets around 2,600 additional defense in the defensive department compared to a baseline unit, and this extra 2,600 defense amounts to roughly 1/3, around 29% additional defense for him. And it's not just that he has 29% higher starting defense. What's more important is that even though he has 29% higher starting defense, every hit he receives will accelerate that defensive gain quite substantially. So that's very, very important when we consider, how well he does and things like that. So I would definitely say that 17 with a dupe performs vastly superior to 17 without a dupe, and this is true for all units to a certain extent, but obviously for some and the way their passes work, those extra stats and the way they are multiplied into being hit or increase in defense, they all tend to matter a little bit more, I want to say. So it's very how can I say, important for him to have these dupes. At least from my perspective, I think it really is something that needs to be factored in when you're considering how well he's going to do, at least in red zone or in other suitable content. Now he also has the ability to see super attacks, and he can absorb Ki Blast supers, so doing certain events, doing things like the legendary Broly or the Broly Red Zone, etc. He can do very well. His ability to absorb supers is very good. His raw defense and his damage reduction combined together, especially when fully built up, are pretty good. So I think overall he's a very, very solid unit. I don't think there's anything wrong with him per se, although I do think they could have given him a better unit. I think whenever they bring out an extreme unit that's good or gets better against super class enemies, and the banner unit is incredibly restrictive, I feel this holds back the unit a lot. One of the reasons why Captain Ginyu is so good is because the 2 banner units they gave him really allowed him to be his best, be his best version of himself. Raccoon and Gildo, they can sit in the first slot, allow him to stack. You've got a fantastic support in the form of Jason Berta. So yeah, I just think the Ginyu Force benefited from those really strong general banner units, and I think Super 17 probably needs that kind of support. I don't think Dr. Mui and Dr. Jiro really provide the same level of performance as a banner unit, and I think this has restricted Super 17 more than anything else. But that's gonna be it from me. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time. Bye.